Welcome back, traders, to today's installment of how to trade Bitcoin or how to swing trade Bitcoin, and we use volume profile to assist with that process. So with that said and done, we're going to get into the business of today because I believe this video is going to be super exciting and there's going to be a lot of gems in there for you. Now we're starting off with the blank chart, so I've deleted everything off this chart and we're going to reinstall everything back on again. And as I do that, I am going to be doing a bit of ranting. So first things first, we're going to add on the anchored volume profile, and I'm going to go back as far back as I possibly can, which is August 17th 2017. So we're going to throw that on there, and that's all set up for us. We've got the volume profile, we got the value area high right here, we got the value area low right here, and we got point of control right here. Perfect. It's good that we take note of that, right? And then the next thing that we're going to look at is what is currently going on right now in this area, in this area of Bitcoin, right? Now as you can see, it is surging up. Most of the other alts are surging too, okay, which is fantastic. And like I said in the previous video, this is a time that you're most likely getting the phone calls if you're in crypto, right? What do I mean by the phone calls? Guys that just couldn't be bothered to get in, right? They just sat on their hands, didn't do anything, right? And now that they hear that it is surging, so Bitcoin is doing all of this cool stuff right here, okay? Now they're like, hey, can I get in? When do you think I should get in? What do you think I should buy? Yada yada yada, this, that, and the third. What those guys are, whether they know it or not, is essentially they are the sell liquidity, right? They're gonna jump in whilst most people are getting out, right? So essentially they're gonna end up trapped, I should say. And a lot of them are going to be located right here with their longs. They're going to be located right here doing all of their buys, right? Now in this area, it's not where we're going to be doing our buys. This area is where we are going to be doing a high risk, high reward sells, right? This is where we would want to do a high risk, high reward sells. And obviously the clue is in the name. It's high risk, high reward, which basically means you could lose. So bear that in mind if you decide that this analysis is something that you want to expand upon. So what do I mean by that? Well, what I mean by that is simply is this, right? We can all agree right now that Bitcoin is in an uptrend, right? This is it right here. It's going up right here. It's creating higher lows all the way through, okay? And we can clearly see that, right? But however, I believe it's going to be doing some sort of pullback very, very soon. And the pullback that I'm expecting it to do is I'm expecting it to be in the range of between 70. So between 70,000 and let's say, where's down here? Between 70 and 49k, okay? So I believe in this zone right here between 70. Do you know, as a matter of fact, we're just going to bring it down lower, right? We're going to bring it down lower because this is going to be the deal that we're really looking for. So what we're going to do is we're going to target, right? We will say for the optimal swing trade to the upside, right, in terms of if we get this move or not, and it will happen rapidly, right, is if we get Bitcoin fly from where it is right now, which is 113, all the way down to this volume area, high area, which is also a low volume node right here, okay? This is where we could load up, right? And this is where all the guys are coming to you now saying, hey, listen, what's going on with Bitcoin? I want to get involved. I want to put in a position. How do I do it? Blah, 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 blah. And the third, right? This is where they're all going to jump out if this thing starts to slide all the way down. And remember, as it is sliding all the way down and they are jumping out, we will be shorting. So you'll be taking short positions, riding it all the way down as they're being slaughtered by this move to the downside, and we are collecting all of those amazing coins that we love and care so much about, right? So this is my proposal. Right? Bottom line is we want our buys here. Okay, so you could have been buying over here and you could have been buying over here as well, and then it does the correction. If you were smart enough to make the move over here and make the move over here, you would know that you would still hold that position should price come all the way down here. Okay, at which point you would buy some more, basically averaging in, the kind of move we're going for, averaging in, right? Now, if it doesn't come this low, because we too have another low volume node in this area also, low volume node right here, okay, it could come as low as, say, this right here. So you could load up here, right? So you could put in your buys over here and your buys over here, okay? But this is what we really want. We want it here. We want price between 55 and 49. Okay, that is what we're after, and we may get that move. Okay, now between then and now, we have price up here, right? We have price up here, and this is where all the guys are, the ones that are calling you up right now. Hey, what do I do? Yeah, I'm interested. I wanna get involved. I wanna get some Bitcoin. Yeah, I wanna be in cryptos. Like, yeah, how do I get involved? Da 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 da. It's now a good time to buy. If you're a good friend, you tell them to stay out, right? But I know some of you guys are really spiteful, so you probably turn around and give them the entirely wrong advice, right? If they're lucky enough to stumble across this channel, I've just saved you. I've just saved you from what is coming, right? So this up here is what we like to call the trap, right? The trap. So essentially it's going to go like this, right? If price knocks out, right, so you could actually get in with your high risk, high reward sales now. If you're comfortable to do so at this moment, you could do that, right? But however, I like to think that we're professionals here, right? We're professionals. So because we're professionals, we're going to wait for certain conditions to be met before we do anything like that. So what I will say, what I would go with, I would say we want to do something like this, right? You want to wait and see if 98 or 97 is taken out. As a matter of fact, let me get rid of this and let me put this in place instead, right? Because like I was saying in my previous videos, I believe I have leveled up my trading skills to an insane level right now. And all of you guys watching, you're all going to bear witness to that fact, right? You're all going to bear witness to that fact. It's going to be no fluff going on. It's just going to be me being brutally honest, telling you what I think is happening. And then you're going to see everything for yourself. So essentially, we've got two early warning systems that we want to work with. Actually, there's a third one that I'm about to highlight right now because I've just seen it. So the first is, we can all agree that this is a solid trend line that we have right here. We've got two touch points and a potential third, okay? So what we're waiting for right now is for this trend line to be broken. Now, if the trend line is broken, it in itself doesn't actually mean anything at all, okay? It in itself doesn't mean anything at all. It's the behavior that it would do after that will let us know if we are to take this break of trend seriously. And that behavior that we're looking for is, this is where I measure out the highest point and the lowest point of this consolidation area right here. So that will be this zone right here, okay, right? So this area is where we want price. So we want price to break below. If it gets to this level, you could make a move. You could make a move, right? But remember, this is a high risk, high reward reversal setup that we're going after, okay? So because of what it is that we are actually trying to do, we need to exercise extreme caution, because for this to work, we can't be gung-ho. So what do I mean? taking shorts from up here, okay, this is where, you know what I mean, like you've got absolute diamond hands and you want to do this move. Personally, I think it's super dangerous and I don't think you should do that at all. The third is we want to see price close below this trend line over here, okay? And then when price closes below the trend line over here, we want to use this area right here, this area right here, okay? And what we want to do is we want to have a whole bunch of levels in this area right here, right, where price will visit and move away from. So essentially we'll be looking at something like this. We'll put a level here, we'll put a level here, we will put a level here, we would put a level here, and we will just do that all the way through. And all we're basically waiting for, all we are waiting for, is we want to see price do a move where it either comes down, taps in, or goes up, taps in, just taps one of them and moves away in a downward trajectory. Okay, that will give us our first confident move to say that price definitely plans on breaking down. And whilst this is happening, all of your mates that are not involved, they're gonna be buying, right? And you're actively hunting down selling opportunities. You can't make this up, right? Okay, so getting back onto the analysis. So once price starts to move away, right, at this point, at these levels over here, you could potentially start averaging yourself in slowly, not too heavy, just slowly, you know what I mean, nice conservative amounts, just easing your way in, right? Then price obviously moves away. Then price moves away, either it goes parabolic through this level right here. And also, just so that you know, these are not low volume node areas at all, right? These levels, as a matter of fact, let me just change the color just so that there is no confusion going on. These are not low volume nodes areas at all. Let's make this, what did I do? I made it yellow, I think, yeah. No, let me make this, yep, orange. And we have a low volume node down here. This is what price is reacting to right now, but this itself is not a low volume node. So let's make this orange too, right? But this is a low volume node and this is a low volume node. It might be a little bit wide, but it is a low volume node. So where was we? Right, so as soon as price, okay, does whatever it is and it gives you that indication here, okay, you can average yourself in slowly and do all the right things you're supposed to do. One of them being using trailing stops, because remember, you're going against the trend of the market at this stage. It hasn't confirmed itself yet, so you got to be real smart how we do it, right? So then as price begins to break down, okay, it should knock out this level right here, which is 98. Now how it knocks out 98 is kind of important. So if it blasts this all the way through, you take the next candle after that. Okay, once again, not financial advice, I'm just putting ideas forward here, right? What you do, that's on you. I'm not telling you to do anything, right? If it comes back and it retests, you load it up. You load it up right here to ride it all the way down. And then these levels are your potential jump off points and your potential buyback into the market, right? So for example, let's say you went in, say 100%, say you went 50% at this level right here, and then you went 50% at this level right here. Okay, when you get to this level down here, which is between 79 and 73, okay, you will take 50% off the table straight, boom, gone. Only 50% left standing, and that 50% will have a trailing stop assigned. Where you put that trailing stop, that's on you, but it will have a trailing stop assigned. The 50% that you jumped out of, you reload that again into this location right here where you jumped off with a buy. Expect yourself to hold some reds, right? But this is how you would do it, right? You would make money on the way down. You will take that loot at the bottom and then you reapply it here as a long position. Okay, at this point, all of your mates that were like, yeah, they want to get in, either they've been completely slaughtered in the market, right, or they're still holding on, right? If they're holding on, it's good that they're holding on, because this pain will teach them a lesson and they will act accordingly in future. Okay, we only learn through pain, remember that. All of your best memories of all of the best memories that you have in your whole entire life, where you've done something, you met the consequences of that thing. If you have to do that thing again, you really apply thought to it, don't you? Right. So with that said and done, you load up on long position over here, and you still keep 50% of your sell in action, in hope that we'll get into this location right here, which is the sweet spot, and that's going to be between 55 and 49. Once we get to that level over here, you should have offloaded your entire stack. Okay, so that whole thing needs to be sold off, and then you apply that additional 50% you've got left standing in this location right here. Okay, and then once you've done that, you walk away. You keep your mouth shut, don't say anything, just walk away, right? And then once it bounces all the way back up here, once it bounces all the way from this level all the way back up again, just know at this level right here, you're going to be getting the phone calls again. Right? I've gone through this cycle so many times that there are certain people that have in my phone books that roughly about now, as soon as I start calling, I don't answer. Why? Because when I said get in, they wouldn't do anything, right? When it moons, that's when they want to get in. And I'm like, but it's mooned. They're like, yeah, we want to get in because everyone's doing XYZ. But I'm like, you've missed it. You've missed it. You now have to wait again, right? And because, like I said, I believe the party is over at 122 or 123. I believe it's going to do a pullback correction. I believe this is the time where we can make a little bit extra as it drops down, and we can obviously take advantage of that. And then once it gets to where we need it to get to, we can ride it all the way back to the upside. And you see here, this move over here, this volume profile high value area here, tells you the story of the smart money in BTC. So all the guys that missed this move over here, okay, the first move when it did 18k, so this is right here when it did 18k, okay, these were the guys that started buying at these levels. They were all buying at these levels, okay, right? They got the moon to the upside up here. This is where the phone calls came in. Oh yeah, I want to be in. I want a position. I want to be tapped in. Then it came all the way down. Then you started hearing them. It's a scam. It's a scam. It's a scam. Right? So they got slaughtered. Then it went up again. Oh mate, I missed it. I should have been in. I should have been in. I should have been in. Then they got slaughtered again. Oh, it's a scam. It's a scam. It's a scam. Right? And then the smart dough was all located at this level right here. From what happened over here, they understood what was happening, so they're all waiting here. We can see right here, this is the high value node right here. These guys are not mucking around, right? 2022, they're like, what? I've seen BTC at 16k. I am not playing games, bro. I am involved. I've got to be involved, right? So they tapped in. And then they blasted off, boom, all the way gone. And in between this move, right, which is really cool for the guys that really are super cautious and they don't like getting into things, is they were able to tap in, right? The ones that are all screaming, it's a scam, right? They were all able to tap in around these levels over here, okay, and they've seen all of this. So chances are these guys right now are hardcore, okay? They are hardcore right now, which is a good thing, hardcore. But however, what happens when price is doing this? This is another part of the game that we need to learn. When price is doing these moves, a pullback, this is another part of the game. And as you can see, you see with the areas that I've marked out, okay, I want to draw your eyes to this area over here. All right, so price shoots up, right? We can say that is this right here. Okay, the next move is up. We can say that is this over here, right? I'm saying risk reward up here. The guys that realize it up here, that's exactly what they've done. They're gonna ride it down, right? This sweet spot that I've mentioned down here, okay, this is this, right? That is that. And this sweet spot over here is this over here. And then this level, you do your buybacks in those locations. When it does this again on the next cycle, this is where you get paid. So with that said, my amazing people from all around the world, if you found the content useful, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification, drop us a like, and I will see you all on the next one.